You from the DMV, right?
Yeah, PG County.
Yeah, man. You came down here to go to school?
Morehouse.
Damn,
Yep.
how was that? What made you do that?
Shit. I just told him like my two school choices was University of Maryland or Morehouse, two polar opposites. And
Facts.
I went to Morehouse on the campus tour. It was a hot ass day. Spelman Women was out, and it was a wrap.
That'll do it.
Small campus. I saw everybody that looked like me, people dressed like me. I saw myself. I went to University of Maryland, big ass campus. You walking around, you don't see no black people.
Facts.
It had all the amenities, but it ain't had no culture. It wasn't nothing I was used to, so it was a no-brainer.
All right, man, let's get this thing popping, man. What's poppin'? You know what time it is? J Hill, Mr. J Hill Podcast. We got, I don't even want to say a DMV legend, like just a legend of his own, world-renowned. Cam Kirk is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This guy, sheesh, I've been hearing about you before. I might have even been before I even got down here. You've been doing your thing for a minute.
Man, that's love. That's a blessing to hear that, man. The name is traveling.
Yo, how does it feel to be like that guy when, I feel like we all had those dreams of being that guy? Does it feel surreal or like, yeah, you starting to walk into it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a humble person just naturally, like sometimes too humble. So I don't really like live too much in that moment. And then also I have very high expectations for myself. So where people see me as that guy, I'm like, man, I got, levels to climb to.
Facts.
Like I'm at the beginning. Like I'm not even scratching the surface of what I really feel like I'm going to be known for when it's all said and done. So, I just have marathon mentality like that. So I feel like I'm in the beginning of the race.
Hold up, right? So many questions, man. Hold up. So I just watched this interview with Charlamagne the God and Bishop T.D. Jakes, right? And the fact that you said, like, people look at me like this, but I feel like it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So in the interview, he was saying, I think this is in his book, and he was saying, like, you always become a student when you hit the next level, right? He was basically saying, like, when you walk up the steps don't creak until you take your foot off the last one, right? And he was like, are you going to take that chance for it to creak to go to the next one?
Yeah.
And he basically made an analogy of, like, when you count to, like, I guess 10, like, you go from 1 to 10. And then, like, are you going to stay at 10 or you going to go to 11? Once you go to 11, you become a beginner until you get to 20.
Facts.
Then when you get to 20, you going to stay at 20 or you going to go to 21 till you get to beginning.
Yeah.
So the fact that you said that is like, man, people looking at you like, man, nah, you a star. You looking at it like, man, shit, I just started.
I mean, yeah, because it's like that analogy, Lauryn Hill has an analogy very similar, and she looks at life as like peaks and valleys. And the way she explains it is learning and mastership. So when you're at the bottom of the valley is when you're learning. So a lot of times people don't like to be in that learning stage because that usually means you're like grind mode, you're behind the scenes. Where you been at, bro? I ain't been seeing you do whatever. It's like, nah, I'm learning. And then when you see me pop out, I'm mastering. But then a lot of people don't like to go back down to learning. So she said that's how life is supposed to be. So a lot of people learn something, master it, and try to hold on and stay at that top, and they're holding on when they don't realize you got to go back down so you can go up to a bigger one. So that's one of the other reasons why I feel so humble in my approach is because I'm constantly in that shift between learning and mastership. And I don't mind, like, mastering something and being at that top of the hill, but I don't mind coming back down and going in grind mode and y'all won't see me for a little minute, or I'll be working on some stuff and then I'll come back up. So for me, when you're always in that phase, you're never going to feel like I'm just at the top or I just made it, because you're always at the bottom of another hill.
Now, let me ask you this then. Is that just naturally who you are, or is that something you learned along the way?
I think it's just naturally who I am. Like, I'm a pretty mellow person, like, in general. I don't get too high or low. Like, you will never see me overjoyed, but you'll never see me sitting in the corner depressed either. Like, I really have a very mellow vibe about me. In the heat of the battle, I'm like that. So I never get too high or low. So for me, it's always been like, it's more to do. It's more work to do. It's a lot more to accomplish and achieve. And once you get a little taste of success, or you see something, and if you remain a student of the game, you always know there's more levels to go. So when I realized I've done this, I just hit 10, 11 years as a photographer. I'm still a baby. That's a baby company. My studio has just turned 6 years. That's a baby company. Like, when you think in the grand scheme of where I think we can go. So when I look at stuff like that and I say we accomplished in 6 years, imagine what we're doing 12 years or 20 years. So my eyes just always like down the line.
It's crazy how so many people would look at things from their perspective or a different lens, and even hearing you say like, like you just mellow, right?
Yeah.
Some people will look at that and be like, man, you need to turn up or you need to do this, right? But I look at it like from my perspective, because I'm like the opposite. I'm super mellow, but I'm still like, I'm naturally like a just outgoing person, right? But I say all that to say, with that, you never get too high, you never get too low. I had to really learn that. Right, because like I always want to be on top, not understanding that life got up and down. I know that, but that's because I'm not naturally that person. I have to tell myself that, like consistently when I get high, remain just stay steady, steady. Cause like it'd be frustrating, and I was wondering if it happened to you, but you kind of answered like, when you on top, you like want to stay on top almost.
Yeah,
like,
you do.
All right. I was wondering because like you on top, it's like, bro, I want to stay on top, and sometimes it can be frustrating when. Like, you know the game, but you still got to tell yourself, it's like, I got to tell myself, bro, just relax. But it's like, part of me be frustrated because, like, I just want it to be a point where this is my regular, my normal.
100%.
That's crazy.
I mean, that happens. Like, I'm human at the same time.
Facts.
I have human emotions. I want to continue to be looked at as the greatest photographer in the world. And, even there are moments, I was just telling the story to a group of people yesterday. I didn't do my first photo shoot this year until May. That's scary. Like, that could be scary. Like, granted, I got a lot of other shit going on, but I still want to be the in-demand photographer that you call. So imagine going 5 months and it's like, crickets on your phone or people ain't coming with the right bag that you used to getting. It can be scary and it can be alarming. And, you want to hold on to that spot, but it's like, oh, I need to master another part of my craft. I need to be doing something else right now that can flip money a different way, because maybe what I'm doing right now, maybe I capped out at that style or that work. I need to reinvent myself. So then I go into the kitchen and I go to work. And then we do other things. Like, we launching a whole new entity with the studio, a whole bunch of stuff. So it gives me that time. So like I said, it's just that learning and mastership, just mentality.
No, that's fire. So not once is it like, okay, let me go back to not the drawing board, but let me go back to what got me here. Because once you said was, I went 5 months without having a photo shoot. Back in the day, you probably would just be like, yo, let me shoot. You know what I'm saying? But because you are where you are, it's almost like I can't do that, or I'm taking a step back. Do you look at it like that, or is it just like, let me work on something else?
Those conversations definitely come up. I mean, amongst my team, you know what I mean? Where you like, damn, was you on your high horse too much? Like, because it's not like, to be honest. So I don't want to not be honest. It's not like the calls ain't coming. They weren't coming at the right rate or what I was used to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, if you're used to getting a 20 and they hitting you for 5s, you like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't even know what you talking about.
Facts.
So I passed that. I go get that to somebody else. So it was more of those conversations where it's like, after a while, you might have to be real with yourself and say, maybe the market reset it. So maybe what you used to get for a dub now is on sale just because of climate, recession, the way technology is advancing, people using content, people do more video than they do photo now. It might just change. It might have nothing to do with how hot you are, how dope you are. It's just, you got to be aware of your industry and the standards. Things that used to go for this don't go for that no more. And that might just change. So it's more like those assessments that you have to make where you're like, shit, I usually wouldn't do that for a 5, but I might go do that for a 5. Or I usually wouldn't even entertain this conversation, but let me see it through and see if maybe there's something else we can add on to it.
Facts.
Right? So like, I do opportunities like that all the time where it's like, hey, go get that, bro. Don't get off your high horse. Keep yourself working. Keep the momentum going. And, rev the engine up again, and then things that kind of come to fruition.
And I was wondering, like, because it happened for me, right? Like you say, you might get this number, and it's like, man, look, I know my worth. Like, right? It always is that new understanding of I know my worth. And I was doing this when I first started, but I ain't that person no more, so I ain't doing that no more. And then, like you said, a couple months, like, all right, hey, hold up. Yeah. Like, how can I make this make sense for me now?
That's honest. That's honesty. I'm an entrepreneur. Facts. I don't have a guaranteed paycheck. So you got to have those real life assessments with yourself all the time. It don't matter if at one point you was getting XYZ. Things can change. Like the price on fucking flat screen TVs have changed. When it first came out, it was $3,000. You got a flat screen. You
It'd be like
65 inches for like $300 now. It's like it just changed. It ain't no less of a TV. It's a way better than a $3,000 one. The industry and the market changes.
I thought it was just me, bro. I swore I went into the store the other day. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, now I be tripping me out. I be ready to buy. I'm like, I need to buy this. Is this a Black Friday sale or something?
That's crazy.
Nah, it'd be wild like that. But that's just how things change over time. What used to cost a lot don't cost that much no more. And some things go up. You know what I mean? So you just got to diversify what you're doing. It might be other parts of my business that's more expensive than it used to be, and that's in demand right now. You know what I mean?
Yo, tell me the biggest difference, because I'm from Baltimore and I got to do this. The biggest difference from, like, you know, being in Atlanta and, like, being back home. But can you, I'm wondering, like, can you even answer this question? Because you wasn't doing photography when you was home.
Nah.
You went to school for, like, something totally different.
Yeah. So I wasn't Cam Kirk in Maryland. They don't know that person. That person was invented here.
So that's hard.
I mean, the overall, the culture is different. I mean, it's just a different lifestyle. Like, you know, all my family still lives in Maryland, so I go back and visit all the time, and it definitely is like stepping into a different world for me. Like, the things that are important to them is not what's important down here. It's not the same lifestyle. That's like the biggest difference. So I don't know what it would be like to be like doing, I don't know if you could do what I do.
That's what I was going to ask you.
In D.C. or Maryland or Baltimore. I don't know if you can fully do it. You might have an artist or two that you can get around and build some stuff with, but the ecosystem of this city of Atlanta is built around what I do. Like, the fashion brands are hip-hop type brands. The clothing stores, the restaurants are damn near hip-hop restaurants. Like, you know, everything is built around the culture of hip-hop. So down here, it's just easy. I can work with so many different clients. I was going to ask you like that.
I was going to ask you a trick question.
Yeah.
This might be hard to answer a little bit. Do you think you could have became Cam Kirk in Maryland?
Nah, not this version of myself. I always knew I was going to be successful. I think God just blessed me with a certain skill set, a certain brain power. I was going to find myself and be something, but definitely not photography, not what I'm doing right now. But I would have probably figured something out. But definitely not. I wouldn't have had the ideology of wanting to be known if I didn't come to Atlanta. To be honest, like a branding yourself. I wouldn't have thought about that. In Maryland, you get a good ass job and you move in the suburbs and you're chilling. You're not thinking about Instagram and all these other things. Like, you're not thinking about that lifestyle.
That's a fact.
When you go, you only go to DC for the turn up or the city, but other than that, you in Maryland, you chilling. Like, you got a job, you do this, you cook out, you about family. All my friends that are still in Maryland, married, kids, like they have a different ideology and setup. So I would say I would have been successful, but I would definitely not be Cam Kirk.
No, that's a fact. Because even I think about it, like, even, not saying it's not creative out in D.C. and Maryland, but I'm from Baltimore. So, like, in Baltimore, it's like, we have, like, those creative dreams, right? We dreamers. You come to, like, Maryland and D.C., like, I don't want to say, I'm trying to be careful, but you don't have to be a dreamer because, like, people have good jobs. Like, you know, like,
go work for the government.
So it's like, we don't even know we could do that. So we dream, we having like hoop dreams per se. Like, I want to be, you feel me? So like, you go out Maryland, DC, it's like, niggas is really getting money the legal way. Shit,
black wealth, black wealth is out there. You know, doctors and lawyers that are black.
Facts.
You know,
that
people
makes sense.
in all types of fields that are black and successful. It was kind of like Atlanta, but with jobs. Like, I always say, like, Atlanta don't have jobs; they hustle.
That's a fact.
In Maryland, they don't necessarily hustle like that. They have jobs and they have good jobs.
It's black excellence, but
it's just black excellence on the job side. Like, we have good jobs.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. So yo, I wanted to go back a little bit. I know you told your story like millions of times. You started off with was it Young Scooter? Ooh,
yeah,
Young Scooter, and then Metro.
Yeah.
But how did that present itself, or is that just Atlanta? Because from what I'm experiencing, that's Atlanta, but not no more.
I mean, it's definitely Atlanta. One person can connect the dots to you to 5 different people. So even if those 2 combinations of names are under the same label, so they have the same team, you know what I mean, in a certain sense. But how I got connected with Scooter was actually through Ebony Ward. She manages Flo Milli, Future, and Gunna, and she got a few other artists. I think she's just killing it.
But talk to me back then. Let's not talk about right now. Like at that time, who was she managing? Like were these superstars at the moment?
At that time, she was Future's assistant, and she owned Fly Kicks, is a shoe store on Peter Street.
Okay.
So Peter Street was obviously a huge hub in Atlanta at that time. So we talking about 2011. Let's just say that right after I was about to graduate college. She had Fly Kicks store. I had just got my camera, so the store was coming up. The artist, I was managing the artist at the time, and he knew Ebb because he was into like streetwear and fashion, and we would go to the store. And that store used to be like a spot where like Travis Porter might have their mixtape release party at Fly Kicks. It was like a resale store. Like they had J's and Jordans for resale and stuff in there. It was kind of a little ahead of its time, but she owned that store with the owner of TIG, Fly. So her and Fly owned that store. It's called Fly Kicks on Peter Street. So me and her got cool through my artist and me just coming to the store, hanging around her. She was like the sister of basically the music industry in Atlanta. Everybody knew Ebb. Everybody was coming to her store. So when me and Ebb linked up, at first, she knew I knew how to do stuff on a computer, like graphic design, like literally small versions of it.
Okay.
So she used to actually hit me to make like electronic press kits was a thing back there.
Yeah, EPK.
So I made me an EPK. Can you make an EPK for Mike Will? Can you make an EPK for Future? And I was like designing like little graphic type stuff for Future and them at that time. So she wasn't even looking at me like a cameraman per se. But she just knew I was smart and I added value in other ways. So I would help her with stuff like that, and then she might have me shoot some video of her Fly Kick store, commercial or two. So to be honest, she started lobbying for me to start working with Future. So she wanted me to be Future's cameraman. That's really how it kind of started. And his manager at the time wanted another cameraman. So they put us on a trial run. Like, shit, you go to Miami 1 week, bro gonna go the next week. I went to Miami, and I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really ready for the moment. Like, it was a lot. Like, Future in Miami's Pluto time. We had a show at Live or something. It was just craziness. It was just a big-ass moment for me. Like, I remember I got left at the club. Like, like just not knowing how to move. Like, all right, when the show's over, we jet up out of here.
Before we finish your story, because I definitely want to finish your story, but it's so many other young cameramans coming up that might not understand what that looked like, right? So you said I wasn't ready for the moment.
Yeah.
Compared to then, right? Because you probably didn't understand that you wasn't ready for the moment until you came out of it. What does that look like, not being ready for the moment? You got left, but if you can go into that some more.
Yeah, I mean, what it looks like is just not being fully on your P's and Q's. I didn't really understand how it is to move with an artist. I did no research, but I had no mentors either. I had nobody that did it before that.
Like what though? Give me some details. You about to be a lot of people mentors. Like if paint a picture. Like you going to Miami, Pluto, big artist, whoever it is, right? What I know, being on your P's and Q's. What does that look like? We got a show at Live. Like what does that look like?
I mean, it's hard to really explain like what it is, because if I say what I did, somebody else would be like, that's not a realistic thing. But basically, back in those times, obviously, like Future and his team, they just had a fear of being out of town. Mm-hmm. So basically, when the show ends, we leave. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't linger. When I get off this mic and I sing that last song, we run out the club and we get in our car and sprint and go. There's like no way to prepare for that. Every artist ain't the same. Okay. I've been with Ray Sherman. They don't do that. They hang and they look out for you. They know who you are, blah, blah, blah. If there's anything I can say about being prepared for that moment, I didn't make my presence felt enough around the artist for him to actually build a rapport with him early enough, or with the team enough so they wouldn't think to leave me. So I think that's one thing I can say is like, shit, do you know anybody? Do you know the security guard? Were you good with XYZ, the manager, the road manager? If you don't make that relationship with the artist, do you know at least other people that can make sure you good?
Okay.
I didn't necessarily do that coming out. I was moving timid, scared. I was just not really talking to no one. So it was easy.
Was the pictures good? Because that's what I'm assuming. When you say not ready for the moment, I'm thinking like you ain't getting the right shots. You like
we never even got there. Like, I got left the first day. By the time I linked them, and this ain't no Uber, I can't just call an Uber. Right. So I got to figure out how to get back to the hotel The next day we go to the hotel. I wake up in the morning expecting to get a phone call. It's me not being proactive, waiting on them to tell me what we doing next. Come to find out, Future and the rest of the team done checked out that hotel and is already in a whole nother hotel.
Damn.
I'm hitting them like, well, where y'all at? Like, we at a whole nother hotel. Nobody told you? Nah, I'm broke also.
Yeah.
How do I get there? There's no Ubers again. Mind you, there's no Ubers. Getting that taxi and pay the $40, whatever it is to get over here. But you got to get over it. Then I get over there. It just was too fast for me.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't ready for it. It wasn't even about the pictures. They don't even think I even got to turn anything in. I wasn't ready for it. So by the time I didn't capture everything I needed to capture because I wasn't ready for it.
Okay.
So it wasn't really about the pictures so much. I just couldn't. I proved I couldn't move with them. I was too slow. He was too, man, where he at, bro? He ain't even here. He at the other hotel. He ain't come downstairs.
You should be waiting on us type shit. I ain't waiting.
Why
on
ain't
you.
hit me in the morning? Why was he at the lobby downstairs? He ain't paid. He ain't get the call time. He ain't talked to such and such.
Okay.
You ain't got his number. You ain't get the road manager number. You ain't called. Like, it was like shit like that where I would say I wasn't ready. Like, I know how to move now, like what to do, how to prepare, and how to do that. But at that time, it's my first time out of town with an artist. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I'm thinking that everything is professional and you're going to get a phone call from the manager and they're going to say, hey, Cam, are you up? Come downstairs, about to leave. Nah, it's like, nigga, we out.
Right. It's crazy because, like, I even tell the people I work with, because I work with a lot of younger ones, not that season, and I be telling them, like, outside of that, you want to be prepared for the moment as, like, you own a moment, right? And I'm not, like, a cameraman, but, like, these are things that I've just learned over time. So, like, what I mean by that is, like, owning a moment is, like, if you want a picture or a particular shot, get the shot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely got to get
you
the
don't
shot.
want to tell somebody to do this or, yo, I couldn't get it because they was in the way. No. You got to own it as if
Facts.
it's yours.
Facts.
So it kind of sounds similar, but back to your story. So
that's definitely a fact, though, to that point. I mean, I'm just talking about the logistical ways I wasn't ready, but obviously skill set wise, I wasn't ready also. Like, I would never have, hey, Future, you mind looking this way and taking the picture? I was too scary. I was too timid. That's how I developed my style that actually became iconic because I became known for taking candid photos. I had to figure out a way to get over my shyness and my fear of talking to people and develop a creative style around it. So that's how I started to actually win because most of my photos became candids, raw. People didn't even know I was in the room taking a picture of them. So I had to make a weakness of mine turn into a strength creatively. But of course, at that time, I wasn't ready to tell Future, hey, bro, you mind looking this way? You mind doing this? You mind doing that? I didn't have the right equipment. I was using a lens that wasn't functional for being on the road. So I had, if you know about cameras, I had a 50 millimeter lens that's tight.
Yeah.
So as I'm trying to shoot Future, and if we this close, I'm too close to you.
Facts.
Like, how I'm going to get, well, these rappers want to show their whole fit. I'm already disadvantaged. I only got one lens.
Portrait type
I ain't
vibe.
got no light on my camera. I ain't got no flash. Like, I'm already just not prepared to do it. So it's little things like that that obviously also didn't allow my work to just blow nobody away. It was like, all right, he cool.
I think that's where I heard it from now, bro. I swear. I know I said it, but it might have been a while ago, and I was like, this is when, like, Candids first became a thing. And I'm like, man, I like this type of picture, but I didn't even know the name of it at the time. And I think somebody might have mentioned your name. They were like, that's how, like, Kirk shoot or something like that. And this was, I don't even think I had a pod. This is way before podcast or something like that. So I think that's what it was. But okay, so you wasn't prepared for the moment, right? Let me get back to your story. You come back, and that's when they say, all right, we want to line you up with Scooter. Maybe we could
go down go work with Scooter. Like, you just go there, go work with him. Maybe,
they ain't even know he probably was about to be who he.
Yeah, he had, like, Columbia had maybe just hit the streets. It wasn't doing what it's obviously doing now, but it was like basically like G League. Like, not to put him like that, but that's what it was. He was developing. You go work with the rookie and figure it out. Y'all more closer on the same level, right? So you go develop his brand and his look, and I was her looking out for me, and it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. That shit changed my life.
Because you was able to build with him, I'm assuming.
I was able to build with him. My creativity was able to shine. He didn't have a name much bigger than mine. We was on the same level. So when you're seeing his stuff and getting familiar with his image, I was creating it. So now who's, like, every photo you know of Scooter, it was like Cam took that. That was Cam's work. Versus a Future, he's taking photos every day. It's 30,000 people shooting him. Big shows, photo shoots, magazine covers, and all that. It's so many pictures of his image. With Scooter, it wasn't. I was creating his image. and I was able to build all around with him. I was Scooter's damn near assistant. I was his photographer. I was his public relations, PR, his internet help. I was the one, I built his SoundCloud for him. I was releasing music for him. I was doing his graphic design work. I made most of his album covers. You know what I mean? That also helped me because I was able to slide my photos in as covers. Like, hey, I'm gonna use this one right here, and now I got my first album cover.
So but I'm assuming Columbia was still paying you for your work though, right?
And I was making, and this is no knock because I was making $150 a show.
Okay, so that's not even the work you were doing as far as album covers.
No, I never got paid for any of that.
All right, so let me be selfish for a second, bro. I just made a tweet the other day. I said, bro, like I'm for everybody like getting exposure and growing with people, but like I want to be able to afford everybody because nowadays I feel like there's no growing with people now. Like I feel if you ain't really paying somebody's salary, you really don't have the leverage to be able to say I want you exclusive to me. Yeah. But I feel like at a time it was like that, and I'm just
definitely was.
Yeah, I'm wondering like, do you think it would have been the same thing in today's society? Because today's society is like, okay, I shoot for you for a second, right? And the moment I get in the room with somebody else that has a bigger opportunity, and there's no knock to you, thank you for that, but it's like now I gotta grow, right?
Jumping shit,
and I'm wondering like, looking at it like that, but compared to your experience with like, man, I stuck with somebody and this really helped me.
Hell yeah.
Do you think there's a space for that in today's society at all?
I mean, I think the younger generation of creators have a blueprint of what success looks like. Let's speak specifically to photographers. Through me, other dope photographers that have came out and have made it success for themselves, they know what success looks like. So they're able to like see it differently. Okay. When I was doing it, there was no body I looked up to. Okay. There was not a Kirk of my gen or time that was sense. The guy that was killing it, that I could see what it took for him to do it. So when I was in that room, all I knew was eat the food that's on my plate.
That makes sense.
Go kill this, bro. Keep going and build. Now I also had vision. I knew I latched on to the right person. Like I say this to this day, like if anybody knows Young Scooter's story, if you followed it, he was bigger than. There was no Migos. There was no Rich Homie Quan. There was no Young Thug. It was Young Scooter. Like, we went from $1,500 a show to back then, 2012, he was getting $35,000 a show when hip-hop wasn't doing what it's doing now.
Yeah, thanks.
He was killing that shit all independent, and we were working with everybody. This man had songs with Wyclef Jean, Cameron, Fat Joe. Like, I met all of these people through Young Scooter. So I knew I was working with a superstar at that time, too. Birdman was around us. Like, I knew what it was, so I also saw that vision of, like, building with this is going to give me a larger piece of the pie, and I'm going to be able to do a lot more with Scooter, and I'll be more in control of my destiny here. So I kind of knew that with him.
That makes sense. You gotta see the vision, and honestly, you gotta be somebody that have some type of value other than outside of your two eyes.
And you gotta take a risk. Today's society is too soft. They're not willing to take a risk. You know what I mean? The most generation, they want money now. They don't have a vision. They don't have patience also. So it's microwave era, which just everything around them makes everything so fast.
Facts.
So they don't know that I was playing a 3 to 4 year game, longer than that when I was working with Scooter. I had a vision for not today or tomorrow, but 2 years down the line when he's the biggest artist out the South, where would I be at? And how would that take my career? We were talking about label deals for him. And when he starts to develop artists, we were already thinking like how I'm going to play a part in a label, like something that's beyond whatever we was working on at that time. So I already knew the patience of it all. Like, it's going to build. I see where I'm going with him right now, and I see what this is going to lead to. That same thing obviously happened with Metro Boomin. I met him at Morehouse Dorm Room. I saw a vision. Like, he's going to be this. Like, we built it. Like, we saw it together. Like, but I saw the patience. I saw one day we're going to be rocking shows with Drake. I saw one day these things happen, and I was there to witness when those pieces started to form together. But that was a 2 to 3 year process, and it took time. But a lot of people don't have to see it as slow as I did, because it's a lot more instant now. Which I will say, things move a lot faster. So, yes,
like, you don't have to build with one person.
You don't,
and that's just that's how it is now.
Yeah, you don't. Now you keep jumping ship to ship. You're not really planting a strong foundation for yourself. So you can end up, failing, thinking you're just climbing a tree, moving fast. So it's risky in that nature, but you got to know who to bet on. And I've always been blessed to be surrounded by great people to bet on. Like,
that's fire. That's hard. Okay, hold up. More old questions real quick. I think you mentioned something about Instagram, not like in another interview, right? And I was curious. So you talk about people being able to see it now, right? They wasn't able to see it then. Then we come up with an app called Instagram.
Yeah.
Right. So my perspective, I'm thinking like Instagram would be a photographer's dream.
Hell yeah.
But I feel like I heard you say somewhere that was kind of the opposite, because now you like kind of giving your work away for free.
It killed the business aspect of photography. It created a whole new industry. So it reset the entire landscape of photography. So photographers before me, Jonathan Mannion, Chi Modu, Zach Wolf, their whole industry was built around, I do a shoot for you and you got to pay me per image. And if we do a shoot, you got to pay a certain amount of photos. You might only choose 3. And they were able to charge astronomical amounts of money because artists were only doing shoots like once a year, if anything, if they did that once a year. When I met Gotti for the first time, he told me he ain't did a shoot in 3 years. Like, they didn't have to. They wasn't on a magazine cover. They weren't doing their personal shoots. So as a result, the budgets were bigger because shoots were not as frequent. When Instagram came about, it was like, I got to post something today, and I got to post something tomorrow, and the next day. So it became content overload. So now you're getting paid that's maybe the same amount of money, but you got to do way more work. So it's like stretched out. It's just stretched differently. So, and you got to give it away for free. You know what I mean? You have to post it. And then once you post it, your work is now on the internet. People can screenshot it, post it on their page. Now you got a photo you took of Young Thug or somebody like I have. It's on T-shirts next day. Like, you're giving people so much access to your catalog, where back in the day, you wouldn't. The only photo you'll see from that shoot of Jay-Z is the album cover. You wouldn't see the rest of it. But now you have to keep doing that to market yourself. So it changed the industry. So now my generation of photographers became, like, it almost evened the playing field for us and the older generation as well, because it's a whole new ball game. It reset. So now how do you navigate in this world? How do you build a name for yourself when, yes, you got to give your work away for free? So licensing images isn't the same bag anymore. Like, photo shoots aren't the same bag anymore. So like how I mentioned how myself, I had to reassess the market and say, damn, you used to getting XYZ per shoot. Maybe the market changed. Those photographers had to do the exact same shit. They was used to getting 50, 60, maybe even 100 a shoot. And now they back to square one. You know what I mean? It just happened that way. So Instagram was a gift and a curse. The gift of it is, just to be positive, we were able to build a brand for ourselves. You wouldn't know who took a photo of such and such.
Thanks.
But now you're able to get tagged. Someone can come to your website or your Instagram profile, learn about you, get access to the rest of your catalog. No one would ever been able to do that before. And then people also had a more fondness for pictures. So now everybody wanted a photo. So now you're in demand more. Although you're not getting paid as much, you're in demand more. Everybody wants a photo. Every rapper wants a photo now. They didn't used to want a photo. Now they need one.
Yeah.
So now you're shooting more often. You may not be getting paid the same bag, but you're shooting and you're creating more and more work. So it was a gift and a curse. It definitely brought down the value of it, but it gave you more exposure and more opportunity to work.
Yeah, I want to ask you, so when you look at Instagram, right, or before I even get to the Instagram, I had a question about Threads, but before I get there, right, you said you never really had like no mentor.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming once you got in it, you had some people that you kind of studied, or no, not even.
I studied, so I never had a physical mentor, like someone I could sit in a room and say, hey, how did you X, Y, Z? But I studied.
So let me ask you
studied
then.
from day one.
So, we always hear this, and I think you mentioned even about like, becoming like the rapper of like, just like when it comes to marketing and marketing yourself, right? And we always hear like in the rap scene or the hip hop culture, idols become rivals.
Yeah.
Right. So now you say Instagram come and it kind of like levels the playing field. So now like the old guys, the people that you might have been looking up to at one point, kind of gotta like compete with you because it's all leveled now. Did you see the idols become rivals, and when if you did, how was that first interaction with it?
I'm such a genuine person that I don't have no issue with walking up to my favorite photographer and say, bro, you're my favorite photographer.
No, right.
Like, so I kind of defeat any of that energy out the gates, because if I like you and I look up to you, I'm going to tell you, I like you, I look up to you. You're the reason I do this. You're the GOAT. I don't walk in the room with anybody. So I probably would defeat it. Like, but I've seen it within the industry. I've had calls with OG photographers, and they look at me as a peer now because of the way I carry myself. But I've had calls with them like, man, these young photographers fucking up the industry. They don't know what they doing. And da-da-da-da-da. So I know that energy exists. But but I've never witnessed that.
But it's crazy because even like you saying I defeated, I've witnessed it's still people that will, like, I don't want to say son you, but it's like be hating on you because you are a peer now. Like, you could come and be like, yo, bro, I salute you. Like, you a legend, bro. You one of the reasons I'm here.
Yeah.
And they still kind of like, yeah, they'll support you or they'll salute you only when it ain't in the way of what they got going on.
Yeah. I mean, now, don't get it twisted. It ain't been too many people that just wrapped their arms around me and held me up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the times that I've encountered, like, legends that I really look up to, it's been when we, like, shared the stage together. We were put on a project together.
Okay.
They didn't, like, just, hey, man, I love what you're doing. Let me tell you how to do more.
Right.
I never got that. To this day, I've never gotten that from anybody that's like, you're killing it, bro, but let me tell you some things to look out for, or here, let me give you some game on what to do. That's why I still don't have a mentor. Like, I'm still figuring shit out. So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, yeah, I've never been embraced by, you know, the OGs in that regard. Like, a few look out for me, like Motion Family, they hold it down. If I call anyone from Motion Family, they'll pick up and they'll tell me what I need or help me. They've helped me with production on a few projects like that. So they're like an exception. But I would say it's not like I ain't been just like armed around, embraced, like held up to the level when I know I could have been. You know what I mean? I would say that.
So they say that revenge is the sweetest joy, right? So I say revenge. Success is the sweetest revenge, right?
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of times when we successful, a lot of things really don't bother us the same. But I'm curious to know, even though you're so successful, right, you don't really got nothing to be mad about, is it still times where now you think about it and that shit hurt?
Hell yeah.
I was curious, like, cause sometimes you overlook it when you're successful. You don't need to worry about that.
Nah, you still. I mean, my feelings are more towards, like, if I'm being honest, like, music industry and people that I know are, like, you know, sacrificed a lot to ensure they get where they need to be, or just people in general, people that been around my ecosystem and know what I do. You always want to feel validated, or you want to feel included, and you want to feel like they still think of you the way you think of them. And success has the ability to divide people and separate people in different lanes. So those feelings definitely exist. There's definitely, you know, moments where I'm witnessing something that I used to be a part of, and I'm like, damn, why ain't I there? Like, what happened? Why ain't I a part of that one? Like, that's weird, or whatever the case may be. I'm human. I have emotions. I want to be a part of everything. So those definitely exist.
But that probably also what makes you such a great leader too, and why you got the studio, Kirk Studios, right? Yeah. And you probably got camera guys that like really embrace you and love you because you are to them what nobody ever was to you.
A million %. The ecosystem of Kirk Studios is everything I never had and everything I always wanted. And I'm going to break the chain. Like, I'm around young photographers every day, and I show love. Like, I give opportunity. I was thinking about this the other day. There's not a person that's been around me consistently probably over a month that has not made money with me, or I've not put money in their pocket. I'm talking, there's not a single person I can think of, that friends to whatever, that I didn't put money in your pocket in some type of way, put you on a play, pay you, hire you to do something with me, got you on this, looked out for you. That's what I believe in. And so for me, it's like, I never had that, but people that's coming up under me will never have to think about that.
And they going to feel it in a good way.
Yeah, they know it. Right. And I don't want nothing in return, but besides them to be the best version of themselves. Like, that's what I tell everyone around me. And they think I be tripping because they be thinking, like, what you want back? I don't want nothing, bro. I don't take commissions when I throw plays. Like, if I throw you a play right now, I don't got to call you and ask you, yo, what they pay you? They gave you some money? Yo, kick me back. I don't even do that. it's like, yo, you go kill that. Because whenever this shit slow down for me and I need to fall back, I expect your ass to be there. I need more people that's going to do that.
On, man.
And I need someone, if you go a play that I gave you and you go win awards with that play, just mention my name. That's lit. That's going to take me way further. It's a legacy for me. That's what it's about, because that keeps you alive. So I plant seeds like that. Like, I was just telling that story yesterday. I remember looking in the Source magazine, and it was a graphic in there. It was a Dr. Dre family tree. And, like, Dr. Dre was at the top, and it was, like, all of these tree branches of people that he's embraced.
50,
yeah, Snoop,
Eminem.
50, The Game, Eminem.
And
they descendants, because you get a piece of their descendants. Kendrick, blah, 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 blah. Then you get there, and it was, like, crazy. And I remember being young and looking at that, like, damn, like, that's legendary. Because Dre ain't even got to rap or do nothing anymore. And we look at him as the god of production. Although what he produces, like, one song a year, if that. He can go on hiatus, and the name is as relevant as it ever is, because he has so many people that he's touched and embraced. And that's what, when it's all said and done, that's going to be a Cam Kirk thing. You're going to have a Cam Kirk tree, and there's going to be a descendants of people, not to say it like a bad way, like the descendants, like they my sons and them, but you're going to have people that I've touched and things that I've had my hands on that's going to be mega.
Bro, oh my God, bro, you said so much that, like, I be speaking about, because even what people, I tell people, I was just talking about this on Ball Alert show. I'm like, yo, when you do right by people, it shows. Same way if you do bad by people's energy, like,
hell yeah,
whatever energy you give out, you won't get like the same energy back, right? And I feel like you said, I don't want nothing from you. You just be the best person that you could be, because what's going to happen is it's going to show, right? If I continue to do great for my people, they're going to carry my name forever. That's what legacy is for, right? Yep. But the same on the other end. If I fuck these people over, that is going to carry in so many rooms that I'm not in. So I'd rather continue to do good for people, because my name will carry forever in a positive way. It's just crazy that you said. I literally just talking about that. Another thing you had mentioned is about, like, just like that tree. And I was literally just telling my fiance this the other day. I was like, bro, you know what I think I gotta come to the realization of, or I'm coming to the realization of, is I might not have the biggest podcast in the world, right? But I feel like it's somebody who's inspired by me, whose shit might be bigger than mine. Yeah. And that's bigger than anything I could think of. Like, I could ever imagine. Because, like, the fact that you inspired somebody, and they gonna show the love, they gonna salute, like, yo, it was because of Cam Kirk, bro. Like, my studio, and you probably don't even know the person.
Nah, that happens all the time. I meet people all the time, and like, yo, I picked up a camera because of you. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I was just back at Morehouse the other day, and it was like 10 people I ran into on campus with cameras in their hand. That never existed when I was there. And they all exactly knew who I was. Like, nigga, we here because you went to Morehouse. Like, you went here, we here. And we got our cameras, and we ready. And it's like, wow, like, nah, that impact is crazy. That's like that crazy, Tupac quote that he said. I don't know how to say it word for word, but it's that same concept.
Yeah, he said, like, I might not be the one to change the world, but I'm going to inspire the next person. Yeah, something like that.
And he has, and that's crazy.
Even, like, bro, even I think about these conversations, like, the fact that I could get next to somebody like yourself, stars, whatever, whoever, right? And we can have these conversations, and like you said, so many people that's at Morehouse with a camera who look up to you, but they probably look at you like the biggest they could get, probably, right? And the fact that you can sit across from me and be like, man, yeah, still to this day, I feel like I sometimes feel left out of situations where I wish they would include me, and it's probably somebody that would never thought of that. Like, wait, what? You?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nah, it's wild. It ain't. That's why I don't see myself all the way there yet, because it ain't. There's still moments where I feel left out, or I'm not in the room where I'm getting overlooked, or still I'm the underdog, or I'm still, you chose someone else over me. There's still that competitive fire in me that's like, and it still shows to this day, where it's like, shit, this person ain't want to pay that fee. Damn, they didn't think I was worth that. Damn, motivation. I gotta go. I gotta figure it out.
I swear to God, bro.
Keep you going.
Cool. Like, okay,
they're
cool.
Like, oh shit. Okay, I gotta go.
Facts. Damn, but you definitely just paying homage. Like, you definitely that nigga. And it's weird to see it, because it's like, it give me hope, to be honest, because it's like, damn, this nigga think that? No way. It's like, no way. Like, what? Let me ask you this then. Do you think if you wasn't as humble, you would be a little farther?
I think I would have probably got there faster. I would have got to certain places faster for sure. But I think I would have also, it would have came with more stress and drama, hatred. Like to this day, bro, like I could probably count on my hands the amount of time I've seen someone, even on Twitter, like just on some tweet, say something negative about me. Like to this day, like, and that's how much it stands out to me. Like if I ever search my name and I see like Cam shit ain't that fire, like it's to this day, I don't get that. I don't get crazy comments. I don't get, yo, you ain't this, or like I get nothing but love. Like I get nothing but love. Like people tell me that all the time. I don't even have enemies. I've never had an enemy. I've never just had people just not like me, like for whatever the case may be. So I think a lot of that comes with humbleness and like, you know, moving in a room, you know, stealthy and just like not really disrupting the vibe or the energy. I give you nothing bad to say about me. And I think if I come in with my chest out a lot more, or ego or bravado, I welcome negativity. Even if it's warranted ego, it's like you welcome like someone to want to like shoot you down. That's just like human nature. But if I'm in the room chilling, shaking everybody's hand, I walk in the room, speaking to everybody, treating everybody with the same level of respect, I don't make anybody feel inferior to me. So as a result of that, they got no reason to not like me.
But you know, with life nowadays, especially, your existence can make a nigga not like you because they hate everything about themselves.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's crazy. Like, so no matter what, somebody gonna hate you. So let me
defeating that. You gotta defeat that energy. It's ways to defeat all types of energy. I'm not gonna say I never went anywhere and got a weird stare, a weird glance, but I defeat negative energy with love. Like, you know, I used to tell my boy that my best friend, he's from New York, and he's the opposite. He's ego maniac. Like he walk in the room and everybody know his presence. When he first moved to Atlanta, you know, I was fearful of him. Like, yo, bro, people gonna shoot your ass or fight you one of these days. Like, you gotta learn how to defeat people, bro, because your energy gives off such a, like, who the fuck does this nigga think he is? Who he think he is? And I used to tell him that day, yo, bro, you in a room with somebody and you bump them, say you in a club, you bump them the wrong way, my bad, bro.
Yeah,
my bad, big dog. I ain't even if you feel like you ain't doing that, ain't nothing wrong with doing that. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth where it's gonna go, because someone gonna look at you and your demeanor and think that you own that. And it's like, we defeat people. Like, oh, you got a problem? I did something to you? My bad, bro. And move on. Like, and I do that to this day with whoever. Like, oh, you don't like me? What I do, bro? We good?
It's crazy because even coming from like somebody, this might sound ignorant, but like I'm from Baltimore, right? So like I'm from like the streets of the ghetto and shit. Yeah. And I hear like, I don't know, like it's somebody that might be coming from, I don't know, the opposite of my place, right? And they react in that way. And I remember at one point in time, I would be like so judgy about it, man. Nah, they ain't been where I've been. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As I got older, it's funny because I got more like that person, because now I understand that I have nothing to prove. I know that if it came down to a fight, I didn't fought, I didn't won, I'm good. I don't need to prove nobody that I'm tough. So even if I came from the slums of the slums, I'm talking to my guys that might come from the projects of the hood or whatever, it's not worth it.
At all.
What you knowing you, right? And somebody bump you. Let's say you know if you could whoop their ass. What's the point of proving that you're gonna whoop their ass? You gonna get arrested? You wasting time behind bars? Somebody shoot you? It's not even worth it, bro. It's just,
you gotta look over your shoulder next time you out. You know who they know, what energy they put out in the universe.
It's not worth it, bro.
It's never worth it. Like it's always, you know, you never should just be a bitch or never, you know, defend your honor as a man. But certain situations, you just defeat them at the door. Like, it's not worth it, bro.
It's not worth it. I remember I got robbed, right, by a BB gun. Real story. And I was like, I seen that it was a BB gun. It was like a shotgun BB gun. And I ended up fighting a guy. Long story short, I'm telling my story in like a bar or something, like as if like, yeah, like ain't nobody robbed me with no BB gun. And the old head came to me. He said, bro, what are you trying to take? Your phone, your money? You could get that back. Imagine if he shot you in the eye or artery with a BB. You feel me? Like, that will fuck up your life for something that you can get back. And when he told me, I'm like, damn, because I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm a tough guy. Like, you ain't robbed me with no BB gun. And he broke it down. Like, bro, For what? You get that back. You file an insurance claim. You get that shit back easy.
Yeah, nothing to talk about.
Man, it's a lot of some things just come with age and knowledge.
Definitely. I mean, it's seeing the bigger picture and
Facts.
keeping the main thing the main thing. Like, that's the end result. Like, and that's, we deal with that with conflict resolution and work and productions all the time. Like, you know, I had to learn that and had to have that patience even with like music artists. Like, I've been on set with music artists and had to wait 8 hours for the artist to show up. That, you know, that could be emotionally triggering. Like, you could be wondering, who the fuck this nigga think I am? He think I'm here for the, like, but you gotta move your energy differently and know that if I leave this set and don't get this photo shoot done, the client or whoever paying ain't gonna get whatever needs done. So I could be whatever, but I still gotta get it done. And then once I start shooting, I gotta give it my best, because if this photo come out and it ain't hot, that's my name and brand. So what you really mad about? Go do something else. Go chill. Go play a video game. Go do something right quick while you waiting and kill the time. And you know it, because ain't no point in you whatever. And then you gotta know that the artists don't give a fuck.
Facts.
So it's no part of them that's gonna make them feel away just because you feel away. They don't have the empathy to care about how long you've been here. So ain't no point in arguing or telling them about it. It's like,
make it worse.
Just go do what you got to do. Yeah, you mad? Go do what you got to do. Did you get paid? You got paid. The main thing is the main thing. Yep, the shit came out. Main thing. We lit.
Because if you try even anything, you try to get an interview, get a photo shoot, whatever, it's like keep the main thing. Because at the end of the day, if you got something to gain from it, keep the main thing the main.
That's it.
That's it.
I still got mine. Like, I don't care how you felt or what they felt. I got what I needed.
That's
so we
fire.
lit.
Let me toggle on your the ego quote for a second, right? You said you could count in your hand how many people said something negative about you, right? Doesn't that kind of make the work ethic stronger, kind of? Because now you know that people are looking for a specific thing, right? Like, it's like, man, my name is up here. I got to keep it up there. I can't even do anything below that.
Oh yeah, I don't jeopardize or play with my name. My name is everything. It's my life. You know what I mean? I named my second biggest company after me, Kirk Studios. It's my life. You can't take that from me. So I don't really take that kindly or lightly, and I hold anybody that is involved around me to a high standard to do that. We move with like the most professional integrity type spirit, my whole team. Like, we give at the studio, we give A1 customer service, like everything about it. I'm very fragile about anything with my name. A bad review will leave me up for 5 days. Like, I'll be thinking about that shit forever. I'll be trying to change it, fix something. Like, to this day, I'm like that way. If I get a negative DM, I'm going crazy at the studio staff. Like, what is this person saying? Like, I'm very, very particular about that, because like you said, it's my legacy is attached to it. This day and age, all it takes is one negative thing to happen that can ruin everything you work for. It could be a misunderstanding, because on the internet, they don't have time to hear both sides of the story. They only gonna hear one side of that story,
run with it,
and they're gonna run with it. Especially somebody like me that doesn't have anything negative.
They
can't believe I don't. They
waiting.
They waiting. They like, ain't no way. I knew he was up to something.
Thanks.
Ain't no way that dude been doing all that. So I have to be very particular about how we move and how I move, what I do, what I allow myself to be a part of. And that's why I'm particular about the brand and what I attach myself to, what I align myself with, because it's like I got to do my due diligence to ensure I'm careful with my words, my actions, what I post. That's why I don't like Twitter or even social media that much, because I always got to second guess what I'm about to post, because I like it. Is it worth it? Are they going to understand what I'm saying? Can I post a joke? Like, I ain't even about to post a joke. Maybe they don't get it. You got to be very careful about everything. That's the, like, if anything, I would say that's like the negative sides of being in the spotlight and being out there. It's like you're constantly being reviewed and under a microscope, and when you are doing something so well and you're so pure at it, people can't believe that. They know it's something on the other end. That's why people don't like LeBron James, to be honest. Yeah, he don't got no flaws.
But I mean, they hate the greats though. Everybody.
They hate the greats.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Tom Brady, anybody that was like super great.
But every one of them got like some little thing where like you like, all right, I knew you wasn't perfect.
Facts. LeBron is probably
LeBron is like the closest to it. Like,
yeah.
On the scandal,
great
husband, family, your kids are on point. Like your business acumen is good. Your teammates say you're the best teammate.
Yeah.
Coaches love you to this day. Other players in the league love you. Like it's like he's been in the spotlight since he was 16 with not a fight scandal, not a police was called to a scene he was at. Like,
but people hate that person too though. Like coming up, we hated the teacher's pet.
Yeah.
They ain't do nothing wrong.
I'm saying they hate it. They hate him that he's so pure. Like they can't wait. The second LeBron ever get, if God willing he don't, second get something, they gonna be like, I knew that nigga been
facts
X, Y, Z and X, Y.
So I said I wanted to tuggle on your your ego quote, and I meant by like, so because everything is no smut on your name, right? When people compliment you, do you ever feel like, I mean, this is what I do it for? Like I know, like kind of like, of course it is, because that's what I did it for almost. Be real.
Yeah, I mean definitely. I know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm very sure of and aware of who I am and what I mean to the world and the people, the legacy that I've already established for myself. So for sure, I definitely am, fully cemented in who I am. So I definitely don't. I was thinking about it the other day. I don't think I take compliments well because I don't always like receive them. I kind of like, oh, but I'm working. Nah, that ain't nothing. No, I'm got something else going.
Yeah.
Or I ain't even. And in certain ways, it actually is an insult back to someone. It can be that way because it's like, well, then I was just saying you did great, and then now you're making me feel like I don't have a good gauge on what's great. Like, oh, I'm small. You think that's dope? I ain't even on. I'm doing some other. And I was like, damn, why am I not smart enough to see what's dope? Like, I found a way. So I think in certain ways, my ego has me do that sometimes where it's like, I can't just embrace like that. Oh, you like my work? Or you think I'm a dope photographer? Cool. Sometimes I'm like, you still look at me as a photographer, bro? I'm a creative entrepreneur. I run businesses, bro.
Yeah.
Why you still calling me a photographer? When sometimes you could just like, man, that's dope, man. I appreciate that or X, Y, Z.
Facts.
I think my ego shows up in some ways like that. And then I think my ego really shows up with me feeling like I don't need outside sources. That's when my ego is the worst. Like, I never want to depend on nobody or wait on nobody. So I won't. And those things in business sometimes can be bad because it's like I could have probably scaled certain businesses I have 10 times faster if I was willing to ask for help or ask for this or take a meeting with somebody, be willing to collaborate. Like, to this day, I don't even pitch for jobs. I've really never pitched for a job. Like, if you don't hit my email to work, we ain't working. Like, that's how my business happens. I'm blessed to be a great magnet.
You blessed.
I'm blessed to be a magnet. Like, I don't have my portfolio isn't up to date. I don't have an EPK. Like, I'm not pitching. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? But sometimes that's egotistical because there's jobs out there that I probably could be doing that I'm just waiting and one day they're going to call me.
That's what I was asking. I was wondering, like, does that kind of like... It kind of like what we said before, right? Because you get to wait in 5 months when you could have pitched, you probably could have got something. Like I caught myself recently, like it's been so like automatic. Now I come into a space where like, all right, I gotta start reaching out to people. When at one point, I'm reaching out to like 100 people a week.
Yeah.
Then you start getting this automatic. It's like,
nah, facts. They know who I am. They gonna call me.
Yeah, you gonna get a wake up call.
Nah, you will. And then now you get back to it like, damn, I could have just hit bro up.
Facts.
I could have just did this.
No
like,
cap.
It's people I want to work with right now. And sometimes I'm like, I got the nigga number. Like I could just yo, bro.
Who's some people you want to work with? I'm curious.
I gotta run it back with Future.
Okay.
I got to redeem that. That's a redemption story.
Probably burning, yeah.
That's a redemption story. We gotta run that one back the right way. And we've been friends and cool since then. I've been around because of so it ain't like he don't know who I am or blah blah blah. We've been around. We know the vibes.
What about?
I gotta run that one back. Uzi.
Okay.
I gotta run that one back. We didn't get to work. Like I've been around him and photographed certain things, and we've been in the same room, but not at the level. I really want to run back my whole catalog at the level I'm at now.
That makes sense.
Like
yeah.
I really, if I'm being honest, so it's really a lot of them. Now in terms of people I haven't worked with before, like ever, I I want to work with Nas, Cameron, but I want the shoot to be like
old school
Cameron.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't want to do like a memoir shoot of him or something. He's wearing a suit or some shit like that. Like I need like him at least in street clothes and giving that energy. I would love to work with Nas, him. Those probably my tops. And Kanye, of course. Jay, of course. But those are really my tops.
I was wondering if it's like people that, because some people would like have that creativity amongst them. Like, let's say, this might be crazy, but like a Lil Nas X, right? Like I could see, cause you creative, he probably like super like creative in that space.
Yeah.
Like of course, like a Fab, because you be drippy shit like that.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, do your mind ever go? You see somebody creativity, like, oh nah, we together, that would be a crazy collab.
For sure. I mean, I think I love working with young artists for that reason, because you get to explore more and do more. And then when it comes to like legacy artists, you really want to photograph them like in their essence, right? Like I photographed like T.I. before, but it's like, and I told him this, I was like, man, you got dreads, like I want the fade. I need the
ASAP.
I need the fade to like that's the look out of the hat to the side. Like I'll do your shoot now, but it ain't like it's different.
Yeah.
I just did Jeezy's book cover and I love the photos, but it's like
still different.
It's so professional.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love it.
White, the coat. Yeah.
I need the clothes you was wearing before we came to the shoot.
Yeah.
I need to I want to go back in the time machine and do that. So that's why I like working with newer artists, because they're like,
you catch them in that
moment, in that prime, you're able to create something that's like iconic for their fan base at that moment. So those photos go crazy. Like my work I did with Yachty, is some of my most iconic work. The work I've done with the Migos, Metro and 21. That photo, it stands out more because it's in their prime. It's in the essence of who they are.
Yo.
It's not overproduced. It's not the big stage, it's like
that's
raw,
crazy.
And that shit is real. So a lot of artists I want to work with are really like coming up.
But ain't it crazy how we do as people, right? Because like you say, like sometimes your ego show at the most when like somebody might say like compliments, right? You're a dope photographer. What, bro? I'm way more than that.
Yeah.
Now look at you, like I want to shoot Jeezy with the all white, and he probably like, bro, I ain't been. I'm way past that. Like we unconsciously do the same thing,
that's
right?
Real. He definitely probably like, yo, bro, we ain't on that no more, bro.
He's like T.I. the hat on the side, nigga. What?
Like our own businesses, yeah. Like I'm a businessman, bro. We ain't on that. That's a fact, but just my wish list.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. Anything? What you got coming up, man?
Man, big thing we got coming up is global expansion of the studio. This is our 6-year anniversary. So that goes back to what I said, like sometimes when you do it yourself, it take a little longer. And, my ego I probably could have scaled this and sped up this process, but I'm on my own time. But right now it's just like global expansion of the studio. So opening up more locations is like prime priority number one.
You ready for that?
Oh, we've been ready. I've been overdue. Damn. I had a situation. A lot of people, I never told the story, but I had a situation where I was about to open one in Houston 2 years ago, and it was right after COVID. And I went, had a realtor set me up a meeting in Houston, met with the spot, had the spot locked down. I was actually about to get a spot across the street from Travis Scott's store. He had a spot out there, Space Village. Toured it, loved it, put an offer down, and I quickly realized Houston is not Atlanta. It was racist. So they basically like wouldn't even take my offer. I was asking for the exact price they wanted. The space was vacant for like a year and a half because of COVID. And they like hit me back with all this bullshit about, it was a bunch of BS. They wouldn't have even take my offer. It kind of scared me a little bit, if I'm being honest. Just like, damn, the rest of the world ain't Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's not black. Like, because I went in there street clothes, dressed down. I had my boys with me. Like, I'm like, damn, if I go to another market, man, I'm going to have to be professional again. Like, be extra. This is something
but
that
yeah,
I'm not.
somebody else you're not, because, like, that is profession in our
Exactly. I'm going to have to be
space.
something I'm not. And it's like, that made me feel a little uncomfortable. So it actually stopped me from looking to expand right away. And then things happen in life. You just get busy on another project. You forget about it. But been ready for that.
But yo, you such a creative, and I could be wrong. I'm judging you. You such a creative, and sometimes with creativity, like especially people like us, like we're things look the way they look because we're so hands-on. And I'm wondering if you got another spot, could you even manage, would it be as successful if you had 2 spots than one that you got one when you there? Like, that's where your time go.
Yeah, because I'm the blueprint is made. It's a made blueprint. It's like, it's something that can't be duplicated by honestly nobody else, which is why there hasn't been any, I don't want to say it like that, no competition, but it's why we've been progressing and steadily moving as fast as we have for 6 years, because it's something about the magic that we create and the energy and the feel that's within the culture of Cam Kirk Studios. So I still have nothing but free time as well. I'm not married, I have no kids. Me going to Houston twice a month ain't nothing, to be honest. It's not a vibe. It's not nothing I can't do. It's a few hours away, or wherever I decide to go, it's a few hours away. So the spirit is already bottled up. It's already ready to go. All we got to do is just replicate the model. And if people love it in Atlanta, they're going to love it in other markets too. And that's just what we got to do. So right now, within that, there's prep work to be done with that, right? So content is like a huge thing that we're focused on with the studio. I've been for years creating content for other people. Now we're like creating content for ourselves.
Should look
like
good too. Starting
my own like network and approaching things my own way, investing in shows, investing in creators. That's going to allow our brand presence to have a more national and broader perspective, where people can be like, I may have never been in Cam Kirk Studios, but I watch I'm on a network, or I watch they shit, or I tune into this they got going. It's planting that seed early on, so then when we pull up, it's like, I've been watching y'all shit forever. Like, y'all shit is dope. I've been looking at how people come to y'all studio in Atlanta, and now I was waiting for you to come to Houston, Charlotte, or wherever we end up going. So it's all part of a process that I'm building that's going to allow it to be a smooth and very easy transition, where you're just picking up the essence of Atlanta and bringing it to other places in the world.
No, that's hard, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up, dog.
No doubt.
For the people that don't know, I guess you could, the Instagram shit, all that.
Yeah, if you want to find me on Instagram, my personal Instagram, people always get this confused. My personal Instagram is The Cam Kirk. So you got to type that T first, The Cam Kirk. But the studio page, Cam Kirk Studios, we're celebrating 6 years, our 6-year anniversary this year. So you can find me there. My other businesses, Collective Gallery, Cam Kirk Foundation, my latest nonprofit business. So you can find me all over the gram.
I appreciate it again, brother. Cam Kirk, J-Hill Podcast. It's a wrap, man.
Did you know a 2018 study showed half of prenatal vitamins tested had unacceptable levels of heavy metals? I'm Kat, mother of 3 and founder of Ritual. When I was 4 months pregnant, I couldn't find a prenatal I could trust, so I created my own. Ours is made traceable, third-party tested for heavy metals, and recently earned the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project. But don't just take my word for it. Get 25% off at ritual.com/podcast.